It's political bluster that often surrounds the border.
People are always like, oh my gosh, how do you work on this? And I love it. I think it's a great issue. I don't mind that it's controversial.
The Western Hemisphere faces a humanitarian crisis right now. Millions of migrants on the move. Something Laura Collins has studied for a decade at the George W. Bush Institute in Dallas.
We call it a refugee crisis because even if you're not crossing borders, a lot of women in Mexico are what we call internally displaced. They've left the interior of the country. They're going to border communities. They're going to safer cities because cartel violence has threatened their sons or their husbands, and so they're on the move as well.
Collins is a guest on this week's Yall-itics podcast. What we found so interesting about this episode is that Collins strips the politics out of immigration.
We do think that we should be able to have grown-up conversations that focus on the facts of the issue, that focus on the solutions, and that aren't political, because this is an issue that's really important to the future prosperity and security and vitality of the United States. And if we're not thinking about it in terms of what the U.S. future looks like and how we're going to meet those goals and targets, then we're just playing politics with something that's too important to do that with.
Collins says divisiveness around the border does not match our daily interaction with immigrants. She explains why Title 42, just rejecting everyone during the pandemic, was not as effective as many think. And Collins says one simple fix is for Congress to just increase the number of green cards it hands out each year.
There's not a big appetite for big cuts in immigration. There's not a big appetite for big increases. So what we do every time this debate comes around is everyone's trying to subdivide the same number of green cards available and try to figure out what the right mix is instead of just bumping up the global number of green cards.
Why don't they do that? That seems easy.
There's just not a lot of political will behind that right now.
The lack of political will continues to inflame this issue. No matter how you feel about the border, this episode is an eye-opener. You can download Yall-itics right now, wherever you get your podcasts. In Dallas, I'm Jason Whiteley.